So we have the results of a Canadian public opinion survey on just how far Canadians would be willing to let the state and police go when it comes to intruding into the lives of their neighbors, of their fellow countrymen, when it comes to beating back the pandemic and enforcing COVID-19 rules and restrictions. And I gotta tell you folks, I was not expecting the results would be this bad. It is shocking. And it breaks down shockingly by political affiliation. That's one of the clear differences there. Liberal voters far more likely to support basically civil liberties restrictions and abuses in the name of fighting the pandemic. Quite something. This is a poll that was done by Campaign Research, and they interacted with over 2,000 Canadians via this online survey. Here's a few of the results I'd like to break out for you right now. So the question was asked, do you support police entering Canadians' homes without a warrant to enforce these rules? Now, you would probably think, wait a second, without a warrant, just busting into people's homes? No, not at all. Well, the people who actually oppose that, sadly the number is quite low. Only 29% of Liberal voters are opposed to it. And then it shoots up to 47% for Conservative and 46% for NDP, although that still tells you that, well, it's not a majority of people saying they're in strong opposition to it. This is kind of worrisome. Another interesting question they asked, do you support jailing or fining people for spreading disinformation about the virus? And when you break it into Liberal voters, 71% of Liberal voters support all of this. Now, more broadly speaking, nationally, 59% of Canadians still support this clause. I mean, this is really something, fining or arresting people for this spreading disinformation. And how did they qualify the question? Well, one of the examples they give is as in saying, it's just the flu. Okay, well, you may take great issue with someone making that statement, but you support them being incarcerated for simply saying that or for posting it on social media? That is really quite something to see those results. Liberal voters are also the most likely to support authorizing the police to break up families in the name of fighting COVID-19. That's right. 36% of them say family separation is okay, and they give it the thumbs up. Now, support is not minuscule, although among other voter affiliations, 25% of Conservatives say they are okay with family separation. 21% of NDP voters say they back it. Pretty high numbers, pretty troubling numbers. Now, one of the few things that had across-the-board opposition was the government being able to tap into cell phone data to be able to figure out where your exact location is to go and get you and enforce COVID protocols. Only 37% of Canadians actually support something like that being done by the government. But they're pretty much in support of other really unprecedented maneuvers by the state here. It is very interesting, though, that when you more broadly ask them directly, do you support suspending civil liberties in the name of beating back coronavirus? 52% of Canadians say no, and only 30% say they support it. But when you go back to those other questions, you go, well, entering a home without a warrant and so forth, and jailing someone for saying their opinion on the virus, regardless of whether it is true or not, I mean, they're in support of all of that happening. So there you go. Canadians, by and large, a slim majority of them, actually support a whole bunch of liberty restrictions right now in the name of beating back the virus, and Liberal voters much more likely to be on board with all of this. These results, maybe I'm naive to say they're shocking, but one thing I will say for sure, they are indeed troubling.